You may not like what we're about to dive into. I'm telling you, it's a good one, so buckle up. I don't even know if I like it myself, but what we're going to do is look at an OIG report that gives us the truth. All right, you may not like it, but it's an OIG report. Keep in mind, the OIG's job is to keep those appointed honest and are supposed to be nonpartisan. That part is key here because what we do know is that President Trump fired the VA OIG lead when he took office about 7-8 months ago. And so 7-8 months later, we have an interesting OIG report that we're going to look at. All right, and here it is. Let me just go ahead and show you OIG determination of VHA severe words matter occupational staffing shortages FY 2025. We're going to get into that, okay? But first we need to roll back a little bit because that's the big picture here. The fact is, and you may not like it, I don't like it either, the VA secretary lied to Congress. Right? And he did so with a straight face. He lied to the Senate. He lied to the House. I have a video covering that in those details, and that's a fact, all right? And it was about VHA personnel and who was going to be fired in the grand scheme of 83,000 employees. He kept saying they weren't. They've cut the 83,000. They're going to stop at 30,000. But we have the plans on who was going to be fired, and lo and behold, it was VHA personnel, healthcare workers, okay? Not interior designers like the VA secretary likes to say. It was VHA personnel. Now, what's interesting here is that this OIG report is that the VHA is suffering on shortages of staff, all right? Now, how crazy is that? How can we have plans to cut VHA personnel who do care for veterans, yet we have some pretty big numbers of staffing shortages across the entire country? Not half of it, not a portion of it, not the majority of it, the entire country. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this. And this came on my radar from House Veterans Affairs Democrats. All right. Mark Takano gave a quote. The Office of Inspector General's report today confirms our fears. VA and veterans are worse off under Doug Collins' leadership. Instead of making VA an employer of choice, Secretary Collins continues to vilify the VA workforce and strip them of their rights. Now, VA is facing critical staffing shortages across the country, leading to decreased access and choice for veterans. Veterans deserve and have earned better. Really quick, is the sky falling? I don't think so, because we see the VA pretty heavily moving towards community care. We just got the extension of a year for referrals, like referral-based community care. And so that's we're seeing staffing shortages, but the sky is also not falling. Okay, so you have to you may not like one side or the other. Each has an argument, at least, and we have to consider those arguments. Anyways, here's the OIG report. It came on August 12th. Today's the 13th. All right. You can download the full report. This thing's pretty big. We ain't got time for that. But here's the summary. All right. These bullet points are what really matters. So the Veterans Access, Choice, and Accountability Act of 2014, and then the VCQEA of 2017 requires the VA OIG to determine annually a minimum of 5 clinical and 5 non-clinical VHA occupations with the largest staff shortages within each VHA medical center. Pursuant to this requirement, the OIG conducted a review to identify those severe staffing shortages by occupation. The OIG also compared the number of severe occupational staffing shortages against the previous 7 years' reports to assess changes. 7 years, keep in mind, that is Biden and President Trump's first term. The OIG surveyed VHA identified facility points of contact to determine severe occupational staffing shortages at each facility. Among the most significant findings in this year's staffing report were the following. These are just the most significant. There are more up in this bad boy up here, okay? So in FY25, where we're at right now, VHA facilities reported a total of 4,434 severe, that word matters, occupational staffing shortages, a 50% increase from FY 2024, in which facilities reported 2,959 total shortage occupations. 94% of facilities reported severe occupational staffing shortages for medical officer occupations, not interior designers, in case you're wondering. And 79% of facilities reported severe shortages for nurse occupations. Again, not interior designers. Psychology, mental health is a huge one for that GWAT generation, okay? Especially in American culture right now, was the most frequently reported severe clinical occupational staffing shortage, and also the most frequently reported hybrid Title 38 severe shortage occupation, with 57% of facilities reporting it as a shortage. You have VA police here. All 139 VHA facilities identified staffing shortages. Not some, all of them. Yeah. I think House Democrats, Takano being one, has a good argument, right? You may be a diehard Republican, and that's okay. We have to consider arguments, and that's a good argument. The arguments on the cons, like the VA is going to move into community care. People are saying it's privatized healthcare. That's what I would say. The VA secretary is trying to redefine that and say, hey, if the VA refers you to the community, it's still VA care. In that sense, he's correct. The VA is paying it. The veterans being seen in a timely manner. And when we say things like the VHA is being privatized, that's not really what's happening, although it is a factual statement. There's some details between it, right? And so we see staffing shortages in VHA. We're going to see a rise in community care. I think what we just looked at is the VA's perfect argument to increase community care more than what they already planned on doing. So if you're not being seen by the community, you probably are here real soon. And let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you very much.